There is a fire within us all, a quiet ember that can either flicker out or erupt into brilliance. This fire is stoked not by chance, but by choice, by habits, by discipline. It is through Stoicism that I found the tools to ignite this fire, and within 1 week of practice, I began to see life through a sharper, clearer lens. Let me guide you through the 10 Stoic habits that transformed my life in just 7 days. Habits rooted in the wisdom of the ancients, yet profoundly relevant to our chaotic modern world. 1. Morning reflection. Setting intentions with purpose. Each morning, before the world intrudes, I sit in stillness. This is no ordinary meditation. It is an inquiry into the day ahead. What will I face today? I ask myself, echoing Marcus Aurelius. You will meet ungrateful, dishonest, arrogant, envious, and unsociable people. And yet, I remind myself, their actions cannot touch my inner peace unless I allow them. Each morning, I prepare my mind as a warrior sharpens a blade, with intention, focus, and resilience. To expand, I would spend several minutes reflecting on potential challenges, not with dread, but with a spirit of readiness. This deliberate preparation created a mental buffer against the surprises of the day. By affirming my values, kindness, patience, and fortitude, I aligned my actions with my highest ideals. The result? A fortified sense of purpose that shielded me from petty frustrations and enhanced my capacity to handle conflict with grace. This practice also sharpened my awareness of my own expectations. If I found myself growing impatient or annoyed during the day, I would trace those feelings back to unmet assumptions. Morning reflection taught me that most discomfort stems not from reality itself, but from our resistance to it. Thus, I began the day free from the illusion of control over others and grounded in my own power to respond wisely. Moreover, this habit expanded my understanding of resilience. By asking questions such as, what virtues will I practice today? Or, what is my ultimate goal as a human being? I created a roadmap for the day. This focus ensured that even when the day's events diverged from my plans, my principles remained intact, guiding me like a lighthouse through a storm. 2. The power of negative visualization. Gratitude grows when we imagine loss. I visualized losing what I hold dear, my loved ones, my health, even my breath. This practice, which Seneca called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, is not morbid, it is liberating. For when you have rehearsed the worst, you discover how much you already have. Each moment becomes a gift, and even adversity becomes manageable. This exercise required deep introspection. I would close my eyes and vividly picture life without certain privileges, waking up without a roof over my head, navigating the day without my eyesight, or enduring the absence of a beloved friend. The purpose was not to dwell in despair, but to anchor myself in appreciation. I found that by embracing these hypothetical losses, I became acutely aware of the unnoticed blessings woven into everyday life. Moreover, this habit inoculated me against panic when difficulties arose. If I had already considered the possibility of failure, loss, or hardship, facing those realities became less daunting. It's as though I had practiced the scenario mentally, building a kind of emotional muscle memory that allowed me to stay calm and resourceful under pressure. By regularly engaging in this practice, I also began to see how fleeting and fragile life is. This realization intensified my motivation to live fully and authentically. For instance, when confronted with a mundane or tiresome task, I reframed it as an opportunity to engage deeply, knowing that each moment, no matter how small, is irreplaceable. 3. Mastering the dichotomy of control. What is up to me and what is not? This single question dismantled mountains of anxiety. Epictetus reminds us, some things are up to us, and some things are not. I stopped grasping at outcomes beyond my reach and focused only on my actions, my responses, and my mindset. In relinquishing control, I gained it. Initially, this practice required significant mental effort. I had to pause throughout the day and consciously ask myself whether a particular worry was within my sphere of influence. If it was, such as completing a task diligently or communicating with care, I acted decisively. If it was not, such as the opinions of others or the results of my efforts, I released it. The dichotomy of control also reshaped my interactions with others. By focusing on my behavior and attitude rather than their reactions, I became less reactive and more grounded. For instance, if a conversation turned heated, I would center myself by remembering that my calmness was entirely within my control, even if the other person's emotions were not. Over time, this habit cultivated an unshakable inner stability. This principle also extended to how I approached goals and ambitions. I shifted my focus from external markers of success to the effort and integrity I brought to each task. This mindset reduced the pressure to achieve at all costs, allowing me to find fulfillment in the process itself. By concentrating on what I could control, I unlocked a deeper sense of empowerment and peace. 4. The evening review. Owning my day. At the close of each day, I become my own critic and guide. What did I do well? Where did I falter? Seneca wrote, "We should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired?" This nightly ritual stripped away self-deception and planted the seeds for tomorrow's growth. My evening review became a sacred time of self-honesty. I would sit with a journal and document the day's events, dissecting moments of strength and weakness. If I had lost my temper, I would analyze the triggers and brainstorm ways to respond better in the future. If I had shown kindness or courage, I acknowledged those victories without vanity, recognizing them as steps along the path of virtue. This habit also reinforced accountability. By reviewing my actions daily, I could track patterns over time, identifying areas where I consistently struggled. This awareness fueled deliberate improvement. Furthermore, ending the day with reflection provided closure, allowing me to sleep peacefully knowing I had learned from the day's experiences. To deepen the practice, I introduced thematic reviews. Each week, I focused on a specific virtue, such as patience, courage, or humility, and evaluated my progress. These themes provided a lens through which I could measure my growth, ensuring that my reflection was not just reactive, but also aspirational. 5. Voluntary discomfort. To grow stronger, I chose discomfort. I walked in the cold without a jacket, skipped a meal, or worked without distraction for hours. Why? Because luxury breeds weakness. As Epictetus taught, you cannot hope to make progress without some discomfort. By embracing small hardships, I built resilience for life's inevitable storms. Initially, voluntary discomfort felt counterintuitive. Why deliberately make life harder? Yet, as I experimented with these small acts of self-denial, I discovered their profound impact on my mindset. Skipping a meal heightened my gratitude for food. Exposing myself to the elements deepened my appreciation for warmth. And working in focused solitude, without the crutch of distractions, sharpened my discipline and creativity. Through these practices, I realized that discomfort is not the enemy. It is a teacher. By seeking out controlled challenges, I inoculated myself against the fear of hardship, learning to navigate life's trials with greater poise and confidence. Moreover, voluntary discomfort illuminated the line between needs and wants, simplifying my desires and fostering contentment. Over time, I began integrating this principle into larger aspects of my life. I took on challenging projects at work, initiated difficult conversations, and sought opportunity to test my limits. Each instance of discomfort became a stepping stone toward greater courage and self-mastery, proving that growth is born from the willingness to embrace the uncomfortable. 6. Practicing memento mori, remembering death. Death is not distant, it is near. Reflecting on mortality is not grim but clarifying. Marcus Aurelius urged, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This simple yet profound reflection reframed how I lived my days, infusing each moment with urgency and intention. To practice memento mori, I began visualizing the impermanence of life. In my quiet moments, I pictured my own mortality and the fleeting nature of my time. Rather than instilling fear, this reflection heightened my awareness of the present. Mundane tasks, like preparing a meal or answering emails, transformed into sacred opportunities, acts that deserved my full attention and care. This habit also deepened my relationships. Acknowledging the fragility of life encouraged me to express gratitude and love more freely. I stopped delaying important conversations, realizing that tomorrow was not guaranteed. Even conflicts took on a new perspective. Was it worth harboring resentment when our time together was so finite? Beyond personal growth, memento mori became a compass for decision-making. When faced with dilemmas, I asked myself, what will matter when my days are done? This question steered me toward choices aligned with my values, allowing me to prioritize what truly mattered over fleeting distractions. 7. Reframing obstacles. Obstacles are not impediments, they are opportunities. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This mindset was revolutionary, transforming frustration into fuel for growth. Each time I encountered a challenge, I reframed it as a test of my character. When a project at work faced unexpected delays, I focused on what I could learn from the situation: patience, problem-solving, and adaptability. Rather than succumbing to despair, I used the obstacle to sharpen my skills. This principle also applied to emotional struggles. When faced with anger or disappointment, I treated these feelings as signals to examine my own expectations. Why was I upset? What could I do to change my perspective? Over time, reframing obstacles became second nature, empowering me to approach life with curiosity and resilience. Reframings also encouraged creativity. By asking how I could turn setbacks into stepping stones, I began to see hidden opportunities in adversity. A canceled trip became a chance to deepen my local connections. A disagreement with a friend became an opportunity to practice empathy and improve communication. This shift in perspective turned even the most frustrating moments into valuable lessons. 8. Silence over chaos. In the noise of modern life, silence is a rare treasure. I practiced saying less, listening more, and embracing moments of stillness. As Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, observed, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak." Silence allowed me to hear not just others, but my own deeper thoughts. Carving out silence in my day required deliberate effort. I turned off notifications, set boundaries around my time, and scheduled moments of solitude. In these quiet spaces, I reflected on my values, observed my emotions, and reconnected with my inner compass. This practice also enhanced my relationships. By speaking less, and listening more, I became more attuned to the needs and feelings of others. Silence created space for empathy, fostering deeper connections and reducing misunderstandings. Conversations became richer as I learned to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Moreover, silence became a tool for clarity. In moments of doubt or stress, stepping away from the noise allowed me to regain perspective. I learned to sit with discomfort, trusting that answers would emerge in time. This habit of embracing silence not only calmed my mind, but also sharpened my ability to make wise decisions. 9. Living according to nature. What does it mean to live according to nature? It means aligning with reason, embracing our shared humanity, and recognizing that we are part of something greater. This principle, central to Stoicism, inspired me to question whether my actions reflected my highest purpose. Living according to nature began with understanding my role in the world. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Man was made to do good to others." Each day, I sought opportunities to contribute positively, whether through kindness, generosity, or service. This outward focus shifted my attention from personal gain to collective well-being. I also examined my habits and routines, asking whether they supported a balanced life. Was I nourishing my body, mind, and spirit? Was I prioritizing relationships and meaningful work over fleeting pleasures? By aligning my actions with nature's rhythms, I cultivated a sense of harmony and purpose. This habit also deepened my connection to the natural world. Spending time in nature reminded me of life's simplicity and interconnectedness. Observing a tree's resilience or the flow of a river reinforced Stoic lessons about adaptability and perseverance. Living according to nature became not just a philosophy, but a daily practice of mindfulness and gratitude. 10. Amor fati, loving fate. Perhaps the most transformative habit was learning to love fate, not merely to accept what happens, but to embrace it as necessary. Nietzsche, influenced by Stoicism, called this amor fati. Epictetus expressed it beautifully. Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will have a tranquil flow of life. With this mindset, even pain became a teacher. Practicing amor fati required a profound shift in perspective. When faced with setbacks, I reminded myself that everything happens for a reason, not in a deterministic sense, but as an opportunity for growth. A delayed opportunity became a chance to develop patience. A painful loss became an invitation to cultivate resilience. This habit also fostered gratitude. By loving fate, I learned to see the hidden gifts in every experience. Even challenges carried lessons that shaped me into a stronger, wiser person. Rather than resisting life's twists and turns, I began to flow with them, trusting that each moment was exactly as it should be. Ultimately, amor fati transformed how I approached the future. I stopped fearing uncertainty and embraced life's unpredictability with open arms. By loving what is, I found peace not in perfection, but in acceptance, a peace that no external circumstance could shake. In just 1 week, these habits reshaped my perception of life. They grounded me in the present, freed me from unnecessary suffering, and ignited a sense of purpose. But this transformation is not mine alone. It is ours to share, to cultivate, and to live by. Let us walk this path together, with courage, with clarity, and with an unshakable inner fire.